Welcome, welcome to my homo abode. It's Christmas Eve for those celebrating, and happy Kwanzaa and everything else to everybody else in the world. Nah, man. Now, let's get to the gist of everything we hear, right? Being poor is the new rich. And I will explain that as I do my laundry. All those wonderful clothes you see me in, those designer threads and the designer sheets, all of those things have to be washed and cleaned. Little, small, poor things taking care of the rich things. We've seen that countless times, right? Now, let's look at it from the bigger scale. Being poor is the new rich. Now, I was with a girl the other day, and she knows me from where you see me now. And that's why I hate when they know what you do, because then they think they know stuff about stuff they don't. And she assumes that I'm rich. Like, you're rich. You know, y'all be making all this money on the internet and you be all over it. I see you. I saw the video you did the other day. You're rich. No, I'm not. I'm piss poor. Don't have a window to throw it out of. And that's that. Because, see, if you learn from people who have money, it's always the poor trying to emulate the rich. Poor people want rich people to see them in glory and not look down upon them. They want to get the big gold chains. They want to have all of these things. When I was younger, that was my mentality. Like, let me get this. I'm gonna get the flyest clothes. You know why? Because when I was coming up, as a kid, I didn't have a choice. My family wasn't rich, but we weren't poor either. But I didn't have the clothes I wanted to buy, the stuff I wanted to wear. I said to myself, this is what I want to see done. I wanted to get this big gold chain at the 40-inch gold chain. I was looking like P from Mob Deep. I had a couple grand in the bank. I thought I was doing it. All my bills were paid. And I was sitting there like King Kong, like, what? That's how I sat. That was my attitude. And I sat there and didn't realize that was probably the poorest period of my time because I had no sense of wealth. I had no sense of knowing that trying to look rich and appear to be rich and spending all my money was a syndrome of poverty. That stuff was never taught to us. What's up, chat? Yeah, you guys can super chat if you want. Over here, we on One Crack News. No, more money, less problems. It's all about what you do. Money don't create the problem. The things we do create the problem. And the way we act around people with money. For instance, so a lot of people in my family think I got millions of dollars stashed away. And they look at it as this is their meal ticket to get rich. I know him. So that way he can help me out if I go and spend all my money at the bar and say, I ain't got enough this week. He'll float me. And we got relatives like that. We all do. People think because you make a certain amount of income that you're rich. It's not true. I never claimed to be rich. I have to work for my money. Work quite hard too. Then my bills far exceeds their bills. But they don't see that. They only see what's in it for them, though they have not helped you attain any of it. You're their ticket out. Then when they offer no innate value to anything that you're doing, meaning that you don't really need them, oh yeah, I heard from a lot of people doing Christmas Eve saying, what are you going to get me for Christmas? I'd be like, the same thing I got you last year. I didn't know you last year. Exactly. Now, I'm not above doing something for a girl or a lady or a girl I'm dating. Like if you take a girl out to the movies or something or go to dinner, that's different. That's not tricking. You somebody spending time with you, you paying for dinner, you're being kind. That's an act. But paying her cell phone bills, paying her rent, flying her in just so you can sleep with him. Now that's tricky. So poor is the new rich. And the reason why I say that because I have seen and been in the presence of some of the richest people in the world. And they had on the cheapest stuff I've ever seen in my life. And that's what changed my perspective. I said, wow, this is what's going on. Like I had the big dollar sign ring with the diamonds in them. I had the big long chain around my neck. I had the gold watch, bracelets. I had it all. I had it all. Anything came out brand new, I had it. I had the brand new Iversons before they even hit the store. The blue pad leathers, I had them before anybody had them. I had them like 3 weeks before they came out. Had the hookup from the Arabs. So I was the only one walking around in the city geared up like that. People thought I was moving dope. But what that brought was unwanted attention. The girls I did have at that time were all petty gold diggers. All the girls who were real, they didn't like that facade. See, you dress like what you attract. If you start dressing with all the holes in your pants and all this, what professional woman is going to want to deal with you? You look like the cliche in the rappers on TV. Any smart women not going to deal with you. And if she did, she's not that bright. Now, I'm not mad at the young folks. Young folks, y'all supposed to dress like that. It's y'all era. It's what y'all do. Y'all get the funny haircuts. Want to get dreaded out. That's cool. That's y'all era. Y'all following the trends of y'all era. Not a problem. But when you 40 and you trying to change with the trying to stay current, oh, this is what's hot now. I gotta get the pants with the holes in them. Oh, we doing that now. You up here wearing a bape, wearing bape outfits, looking ridiculous. You out here old as you is with some doggone sunglasses and some big old bait coats and looking for the Prada bags. And I'm like, dog, you are way too old to be acting like this. And we looking at multimillionaires and they shop at the Gap looking for the discounts because poor is the rich and rich is the new poor. How many of these multi-million dollar rappers right now are in debt? Over 80% of the rappers that are out now are living in debt. It's only about, I would say, a handful of them that are making considerably amount of money. George Lucas, who I've been in the presence of and couldn't take a picture of, I was really pissed about that. I was around George Lucas. He's the richest entertainer in the world. Made $5.7 billion just last year. Well, this year, 2018, he made 5.7 billion. The closest entertainer is Michael Jordan. 1.1.8 billion is what his net worth is. Jay-Z was at 900 million. Poor is the new rich. George Lucas barely spends money on clothes. He buys old Levi's and Wranglers. He wears jeans that cost less than $100. His shirts sometimes range from about 60 to $70. Some he get for on sale for $35. He wears a Seiko watch, likes the metal bands, so he can take a shower with them on. His whole wardrobe, his shoes, cost him probably about $200, $300. We're spending $300 on the shoes alone. I want to fold clothes with you. I want to make you feel good. Baby, I gotta do the right thing. Cause it's better than the wrong thing. Said I want to fold clothes for you. I want to make you feel good. Baby, I gotta do the right thing. Cause it is better than the wrong thing. I fold clothes for you. Catching up on my shows, watching Netflix. And now I'm up here drinking almond milk. I can't believe, man, I'm up here drinking almond milk. The corniest song. No, that's a real song. Y'all just don't know. Y'all too young. See, folding clothes is like the worst thing you could ever do. It's a tedious task that needs to be done, but nobody wants to do it ever. Believe me, you be wanting to do anything other than fold clothes. But poor is the new rich. Rich is the new poor. How many NBA players live comfortably after retiring? Over 80% of the players file for bankruptcy or lose the majority of their money. And you're saying how? They've made 300s and hundreds of millions of dollars because they didn't understand money. And that's how poor end up becoming the new rich. See, rich people have taught me a lesson. And I listened, I got the information, and I try to pass it to you guys so that maybe down the stretch or something, it could save some people. And, there's going to be ups and downs. Money's going to come and go. Nope. Wrong. There are people that are black that are rich. I mean, seriously, some of the richest people in the world are black. They're just not from this country. They're billionaires. They own oil wells and everything. Nigerians, they're rich beyond belief. And I've met a lot of them. I've met Donald Trump, who was too busy trying to impose and let people see that he's Donald Trump. This is before he was president, of course. And he was just like, hey, look, it's me. He just kept walking by without saying nothing. Like, you're going to say something to me? Come on. You know who I am. Say it. I'm going to keep walking by. I'm like, dude, what is wrong with this dude? He wants he wanted some attention that bad. He wanted us to just say, hey, what's up, Trump? Oh, how you doing? How you doing? Yeah, I knew he knew me. Yeah, he know me. Yeah, I still got it. See, Donald Trump was that's why he went into boxing's Hall of Fame. They put him in boxing Hall of Fame because he used to promote all the fights and co-promote with Don King. So I would see him all the time. I would see him in all the real estate conventions. They used to pay him to be a guest speaker with Robert Kiyosaki. So we can sit there and bounce ideas off of him. He was just a dummy, even when he was talking. He knew really nothing. Everybody else knew more than him. He was just going off the fact of his name was Trump. It's about as nutty as he is in the White House. It's about as nutty as he was when he was giving his speech. All his ideas he was doing was so formulated. It was like, well, if you do all that, you're gonna go bankrupt, right? Screw it. If you go bankrupt, you go bankrupt. Look at me. I went bankrupt 3 times. Bankruptcy is good. There's no such thing as good bankrupt. I wish that we had that recorded. Somebody gotta have that. Somebody gotta dig that up. He told us going bankrupt was good. That meant we were trying to get something done. It don't work that time, you do it again. Don't work, keep doing it. One of these times it's gonna work. I'm like, well, doggone. We can't keep getting the money done. We can't get it the first time. So if we take that strategy you're talking about, first off, the banks ain't gonna give us a dime. We're black. So we got to put that into play. And he was looking like, I'm not talking to y'all anyway. Talking to these guys. He didn't say that. I'm saying that's what it sounded like. But rich people have figured it out. The way to be rich and the way to keep your money is to think always less costly. 2 words, less costly. That is what rich people have figured out, and poor people will never figure out. That being poor is actually the richest thing you could ever do. And poor people think being rich and spending more is the best outcome and the best way to go about doing things. And it is so horribly wrong. They think, well, I got millions of dollars. I'm straight. You got luxury tax. You got all these taxes coming for you when you're a millionaire. And the NBA, by the time they get all that money back from all the taxes and stuff you've been paying out, and you went and bought all the card, and your parents, they only see the numbers that they keep showing on ESPN. So mama got to get a house, cousin want a house, daddy want a car. You ain't really invested nothing. Next thing you know, 6, 7 years, you retire. You only got maybe 1.2 million. You got taxes due on the house. That's gonna cost way more than that. You ain't gonna be able to keep up with that. Your lifestyle changed. You haven't done anything to prepare for life outside of sports. Now you're in the grease. Now it's what do you do? All that spending, all the big gold chain with your name on it, all those years you were playing, now you got to be cashing all that stuff in. And hopefully you get your money back. Because what they're going to do with you is like batteries. They use you up, they throw you out, and back to the ghetto you go, and then get a new one coming out. Pay them some money. And it's all going to taxes. And all these old ways they invent these traps financially to have you stuck in. Then when it's all said and done, that's when you want to get smart about it. I'm not saying you got to live a boring life and not have fun. There's plenty of people that have fun, but they do it responsible. That's one credit I give LeBron. He ain't stupid there. He knows I better save my money. LeBron's one of the most cheapest people in the world. Cheap, 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 cheap. Exactly. Rich people are cheap, and I don't mind that he's cheap. Dwayne Wade spent way more money than LeBron has. And he told Dwayne Wade, like, you crazy. I would have never spent that kind of money. And he wouldn't. I'm gonna tell you a story right now that I know because I'm from Chicago. Y'all ain't gonna know. They came. LeBron came up here for dinner with Dwayne Wade when he played for the Bulls, and Dwayne Wade had told the story to some guys we know. And that's when LeBron, remember you saw him wear the Cubs jersey and stuff. When the Cubs won, he lost the bet to Dwayne Wade. He had to wear the Cubs outfit when the Cubs beat the Cleveland for the World Series. So Dwayne Wade, of course, he talking with some friends, and he mentioned that LeBron James and him had to have a talk because LeBron would never pay the bill. LeBron would always want to be do Dutch. Like you pay for yours, I pay for mine, and split the bills in two. So other people had warned Dwayne Wade. This was back when he was telling the story back when they was in Miami. He was like, when we was in Miami, and he was playing for the Cavs before he even came to play with us. He was like, he'll be like, no, split the bill. Every time LeBron would request that they split the bill, he'll pay his half, y'all pay y'all half, therefore it's no problem. And he was like, I don't want to get into that. LeBron said, I don't want to get into that. Like, I pay now, then it's your turn later, because then people going to forget turns. And then once you bring it up, you the bad guy. I went through that already in Cleveland. He's like, I went through that already playing in Cleveland on with a teammate of mine. So whatever happened, that already went down. So Wade and them all came up with a system. They all went out. They said, look, that's getting too distracting to have. Some places don't let you do that. One person pay, and that's just how it is. So he said, Dwayne Wade came up with a system. He said, we going to play the credit card game. He said, what? He said, that's what we going to do, the credit card game. He said, oh, how you do that? He's like, we all put our credit card in, and we reach in there, pull the one credit card out, and whoever credit card it is, that's who pays the bill. LeBron thought that was a genius idea. And he plays the credit card game to this day. That's how they go out to dinner. And he makes everybody play the credit card game. See, a lot of things I know that y'all don't know. Donate or vacate. Well, this is one crack news, so y'all can just hit the super chat button. Yeah, Bron is super cheap. I don't know who the player was he got into it with over food in Cleveland. But that's why LeBron didn't do the I pay now, you pay later. Because I'm quite sure LeBron paid and probably told dude, like, hey, it's your turn. I paid last time. Dude probably like, nah, I paid last time. He probably believed it too, because he probably was high. But LeBron was keeping count. LeBron was keeping count. Who is showing off? What am I showing off? You see me folding my clothes in my house. This is showing off. Because I gave you solutions already. If you listen to this whole thing and you've been here for the whole 30 minutes and have not heard the solution, then you're gonna forever have a problem. There are people right now who have never made $1 million and they live a richer life. You know why? A lot of people that make 10 times what other people make, but their spending habits and the way they conduct their lifestyles, they can't really enjoy it, or they're not they never had money before. So when you get it, and that's a problem with people that come from poverty, that no one ever taught them how to manage money, and the league normally preys on things like that. And it became such an alarming factor that they start setting up these classes for the rookies coming in with all this money. How, okay, your lifestyle's going to change. Here's what some tips to keep your money and things of that. So they send these guys to class now because it was at an alarming rate that all these guys coming into the NBA, by the time they're out the league, they have nothing. See, when the players wanted rest and all these other things that they wanted from the league, the NBA gave it to them, just like the NFL. You guys wanted less OTAs. That's too many OTAs. I want time off. Yeah, I'm tired. Yeah, give me that. We're going to negotiate for that. The league said, okay, you got that. All right. Now the league has final say over everything. The commissioner can rule and have final say over everything. They gave up that power just so they can get some rest. So they don't have to go to practice no more. I don't want to do 3 trainings a day. I want less OT time. I want less minutes in preseason. Yeah. Now you see the bigger picture of why they negotiated hard for that route when all these things start happening in the league and you have no control. And that's because you signed over those rights. Ding, 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 ding. See what I'm saying? So we need to get smarter on the other side of the ball. They say don't make it a black or white thing. It's not. It's an education thing. The majority of the NBA players that come in the league didn't come from your Ivy League schools. They didn't come from a upper middle class background who afforded to go to college. They had to make it on an athletic scholarship to get to that big school. So that's how they made it. They had to go to the Ivy League school and ball out. So it's naturally different when you see the Caucasian players, how they don't seem to go broke. They seem to have a nice job ahead of them for life after sports. They seem to have money saved up. They wasn't as flamboyant. Out to the late night parties. You know what they did? They went home with their family and kids, and they had money. They went out here struggling. Now, the black people who did go to Ivy League schools because they did come from upper middle class, you know what happened to them? They had their money too. Look at Grant Hill. Grant Hill has never been poor. He came from a rich upper middle class family. But it was instilled in Grant Hill. Scholastics was first, athletics second. So Grant Hill was rich already coming in. Upper middle class had money. But that wasn't going to be the determining factor of who he was as a person or his character. But he wasn't going to go broke. So you can see it's not a black or white thing. It's a conditioning thing. Those who are most destined to come from poverty, the rule is that they're normally going to lose all their money and go back to the ghetto. The exception are people like LeBron James. He's an exception to that rule. The NBA cannot afford to let LeBron James go broke. If LeBron James go broke, what does that say for the NBA? And why do I say it like that? Because if the NBA goes broke, or if the NBA backing LeBron James and LeBron goes broke, that looks bad on the NBA. He's been their face. So you can't let your face be broke. Now, when he's no longer, he's out the league and is no longer able to sell tickets for them, then he's fair game. But LeBron has been smart enough to put himself in a great position to only have people around him that he trusts, who has his interest 100%, and he don't let anybody get in the way of that circle because they truly know each other, which is a smart thing. Well, I'm glad you made it, Mr. Hogan. Thank you for your super chat, man. Too bad I can't never see you on the leaderboard over there on the other one. It looked like Guru, you might win this one. Mr. Sledge had a lot of things he had to do. I don't even remember this picture. My mom just sent me a picture that I don't even know where she got it from. I almost semi remember that shirt. That's me and my cousin. That's crazy. He's the reason I know how to play basketball. He's the reason now I know Draymond. That's Saginaw, Michigan, right there, and we in Saginaw, right there. Look at me, I was fly. Even back then, I was fly. How old was I? Oh my God. And I'm throwing in the 2-1. Nah, we ain't sag, bro. I need that shirt now. I'll rock that shirt right now. That's crazy. Oh man. That's crazy.